So, right now we're going to go into our other media section following, our Western television segment. So, um, I know you don't really have much. Do you want to briefly
Mhm.
go over yours and then I'll go over mine?
Well, basically, what I've done in the past week in terms of other media is, as usual, I made an attempt to get some writing done, of course, because I want to get some more put out some more Dragon Soul. Um, I mean, and as I believe I've said this podcast as well, is that I do better at writing when I'm watching a movie, because especially one that I don't necessarily have to pay attention to. But I can't for the life of me remember the movies I was watching this past week, because I mean it was that unimportant.
Wow.
And then and then but and then now unfortunately once again I was too busy to get back to playing the Naruto Revolution. Um, Now this past Friday is when, lo and behold, Super Smash Bros. 3DS came out. Ba-ba-da-ba. Now, as I said before, earlier in the stream, I've been working every day since I got this game, so I've been unable to put too many hours into it. But what I have done so far has been very good. I mean, like I said, whatever. So, it's just, it's Smash Brothers. I like it. Now, and as for now, until I unlock everything, and start trying out all the other characters, and I'm sticking with my main from Brawl, which is Ike, which is also Strider's main
Like,
from Brawl, who has his badass look from Fire Emblem
uh huh.
10. So it's definitely now. One of the unfortunate things, though, is that I'm having trouble with is the fact that uh, because this because due to the lack of space on the screens, I can't necessarily see how the different colors will look on him, because you can't see they don't show his entire body. They show only his face, and maybe some of his torso, very maybe the direct area around his neck. You can see his cape wrapping around his head,
Hmm.
or not his head, but his neck. But there's not really much you can see, so it's hard to tell how different color alterations affect him, how it looks on him.
Right.
So for now, I'm pretty much been using his original, the original coloration.
Yeah. His white looks amazing.
Well, I'm sure it does, but I haven't had too much chance to. I mean, I'll probably like I said, test them out, like the very different. I'll test them out, of course, but for the purposes of getting through the various modes and unlocking the various characters and trophies and whatnot, I'm going to stick with the main coloration.
Right.
And then, but like I said, hopefully by the next podcast, I'll have more to talk about it. But so far it's really good, and as of today, when we recorded the this podcast, the release date for the Wii U version was announced, November the 21st, which which is also when they're going to release the first set of amiibos. But it's also the same day Nintendo has decided to release the Gen 3 Pokemon Reboot games, which I thought was pretty interesting choice. Now, here's one of the other things I thought was interesting when I was looking up the information about the release date. Was that said that in terms for the Wii U version, North America is going to get it first. Japan will get it last.
Suck it, Japan.
Which means any of the new modes we get to see first.
Nice.
Especially that hinted at mode about the tower mode that that was supposedly leaked.
Right.
Like, which when I heard the leak initially, now it reminded me somewhat, made me think of Sword Art Online, because it said the supposed idea is that it'll have 100 floors.
Oh my.
Like it might be like replacing adventure mode, or like subspace emissary.
Right.
Like that.
Cool.
Which would be interesting. Now, of course, one of the best things, of course, I like about playing this, handheld, the handheld version is we will have the ability to, play with, our buddies without having to actually be there. Because yes, that was prevalent with the Brawl, but it wasn't really as perfected as it is now. And the other interesting thing about this, I've already been beginning to like, is the customization features. Which, allows you to add equipment to your characters to make them faster, stronger, or more defensive, have better defensive capabilities, which is all well and good, but of course at the same time at the cost of another stat. But the best part is the customizational moves. How as you play throughout the game, you unlock, by doing you get to customize your character's moves, and there are four areas you can customize are basically your Bs, your standard B, your up B, your down B, and your side B, which can make for a very, allows you to varietize your character, so that way when you're playing against somebody else who's using the same character, you might not necessarily have the same exact moveset. Right. Because you can customize it, and if you're not prepared if you don't prepare yourself, you're not going to be able to, you might get caught off guard by these moves. Like, for instance, Ike, one of the things you can do, customizable moves he has, is the Furious Eruption, which increases the range and damage, the blast radius and the damage of his eruption attack. And if you're not expecting it, you might think you're outside of the range, but you're actually inside the range. Or, like the other one, where it gives his up B, when it hits down, creates a shock wave, which again, if you think you're just outside of the range of the sword, you're actually not. But I think one of the more interesting ones is, for Ike, because he's mainly the one like I said, since I've been playing with, he's the main one I've been unlocking customization moves for, is where his up B throws the sword diagonally in the direction he's facing. So like if he's facing to the left of the screen, he'll throw it diagonally left and up. So that way, if, say for instance, you're facing off against somebody who tries to fake you out by jumping out off the platform, and tries to make you use your up B, before you are close enough to actually catch the ledge with it. As we all know, Ike, he throws his straight up. So if you're too far away, you're not going to catch it. But in this case, this version is better. Will actually push you over more and allow you to use it farther out and still be able to make it. Which means that they've given it Ike a chance to have an improved recovery. And that might also be the case for other characters as well.
Hell yeah.
Meaning you're going to get increased. That means if Ike can get increased power, range, and damage, and recovery, that means other characters can do the same. Most likely be able to do the same. Get better range with their attacks, more damage with their attacks, and better recovery. So, and the only other thing I have been doing, and this is actually kind of funny based on the situation that showed up, but I swear to you, I didn't know this was happening when I started it, but I've started to casually rewatch Naruto, the anime.
Uh-huh.
And I literally did not know, this was obviously before the announcement of the manga ending, which makes it all the more funny that I'm rewatching it at this point in time. But I did not, I said, it was like, I was in that mood to rewatch it, even though I initially watched it within this year, I think, even, which sounds kind of weird that quick, with even less than a year of watching an anime, I feel the need to rewatch it, especially a long one.
Oh well.
Oh yeah, oh well. But anyway, I thought that was and then it became funny when we found out the manga was ending. So it's kind of funny. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. In terms of other media, I know, as usual, I talk a lot. So what do you have in terms of other media you've watched?
Oh, I got plenty. Well, to start with, it's time for a plug. Now,
yes, I forgot.
in terms of games, I've been playing the usual. However, I started a new game. Well, an old game.
Decided to restart a new game.
Now,
or restart playing an old game.
A game that I've beaten more times than I can count on my hands.
Which is pretty impressive, figuring what game it is.
And that is Final Fantasy X. Now, it is being live streamed. So, you can find my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/pentsage, PENTSAGE. That'll be in the description as well. Now, I'm going to briefly talk about the schedule, because I also want to tell you the schedule, because I just made it up yesterday or the day before. And that's Tuesday and Thursday are definites, 2 o'clock p.m. And then
Eastern
Standard Time. And we have Friday and Saturday are optional. And for Final Fantasy, I'm most likely going to take both of those days, as long as I am physically able to stream. Because, we need that length. And so, guys, it would definitely appreciate me if you watch. Although, technically, I think I would have better chance advertising the podcast on my stream than opposite. But I figured I'd plug it.
Well, you're gonna do both anyway.
Yeah, but might as well do both. So, that's that. It's been quite fun. Oh, and face cam. So if you want to know what I look like, go watch it go watch the archives on YouTube at youtube.com/WhereTigerX, my main channel.
Yeah, this guy doesn't know how to stick with a single name.
No, I don't.
He doesn't like to stay with the same name. It's too boring for him.
In the past 3 to 4 years, I've stuck with Strider Zero for the most part.
Well, yeah, that's because you don't feel like coming up with new names.
But yeah, like I had like certain names that I would stick with before. Like I used to do like Effidel Siege, or and then I used to do like Weretag or something, or I would do something like like
Ryu.
Zero, just like Zero, and then for a while I had like a period where I would name myself like Shinzex, and there's just I'm getting off
And then
topic.
there was that random. Yeah, I know you're getting off topic, but there's also that random ass other name that you used. Then you know what I mean by it,
Yeah, and of course on freaking
which pisses me off now that I know
of
about
course
it.
then Naruto forums. My name is Master Sephiroth, which is whatever, completely different than any name I've ever used. And then so off topic anyway. So in terms of other media besides that, still watching Kaze no Stigma. I haven't finished it yet because I kind of put it on hold. I decided to rewatch Water 7 and Enies Lobby for One Piece. Spoilers for those two arcs. I'm still in Water 7 right now for the dub, and I have to say, it is absolutely fantastic, on point for Funimation standards. And
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, and this time around when watching this, is this the first time you've heard Lucci English dub?
no, it's not, but it's the first time I've extensively heard him, and so I really like Jason Liebrecht as Lucci. I really like him.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I've have like I said, I believe I've said this to you before. I haven't seen Funimation been this spot on with the voice acting since DBZ.
And I have to make
In fact, this has been the best voice acting work I've seen from Funimation, in my opinion.
possibly. And now here's one of the crux of this arc, and that's honestly, I'm a big fan of Sunny Straight, but I've never ever been completely blown away by a performance until the performance he put on as Usopp in Water 7. And that
Oh yeah.
it blew me away, especially when he was yelling at Frankie, like when he was in his hideout. That
Hmm.
it blew my mind how good his acting was, especially in that part. And it was nuts. Obviously Colleen has done her job amazing for Luffy, as did an amazing job for all her scenes with Luffy. Obviously Sabbat and Zoro, Eric Vale and Sanji. Brina Palencia
Hmm.
has continued to bring it with Chopper. She's fantastic. Um,
Oh.
I really do like Patrick Sates is an interesting, it's an interesting choice because it's a different type of voice on Frankie, but I think it actually fits better with the look of Frankie, and actually it actually fits better with the look of Frankie because I feel like he should have more of that more deeper, gruffer voice for how Frankie looks and sometimes kind of acts. Although obviously I like the Japanese Frankie, I think it's pretty good. But I
Oh
think he
yeah.
was better for Mister Two, to be honest. But that's besides the point. Obviously, Stephanie Young and Robin, and I like a lot of
Oh.
the I definitely like a lot of the newer like casts. Like I think Kaku has done pretty well. Khalifa Bluno was great. But obviously, as I said before, I really like Jason Liebrecht. I've heard him before. He's actually in Street Fighter 4. He plays Abel, and he does a good job of that. But not even close to his performance as Lucci. It's fantastic. I really liked his Japanese voice too, Lucci.
Oh yeah. Lucci was a very well voice cast all
Yeah.
around. And he was a very good character to begin with. He was a very good
Oh yeah,
character.
I love Lucci. He's so badass.
So just imagine how now you just imagine like this. If you like him this much now, imagine when you get to his Rob Lucci's better scenes.
Right. So anyway, that's it for One Piece of right now. I mentioned what I had to mention for One Piece. Now, I'm trying to think if there was. I don't think there was anything else, honestly. Because Walking Dead hasn't come out yet, and so we still have that. Um, that's about it. I covered my stream and One Piece, which were the two main things that I had done this week, and so I think that'll about do it.
Yeah, it was a very. It was in terms of other media. I think it was a very slow week.
Yeah.
Hopefully, but of course, as we all know, the manga scene will get very interesting in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, definitely. And so, yeah, that'll do it for our other media section.